So far, today has been a great day. It's election day here in the US, and I hope that later on today it's an even greater day, but so far it's been a great day. And for those of you that know me or have been following me for a while, I usually spend a lot of my time traveling around the world teaching people solution-focused brief therapy, and it's been an incredible journey. Like I've been to some remarkable places, and I've met some amazing people, and I have amazing people in my life as a consequence. And since we're dealing with this pandemic, I'm super sad that I haven't been able to travel and get out and see the things and people that I'd like to see and do the activities that I really love doing. But because of technology, we are able to reach people, right? And today I'm teaching a course with my good buddy Adam for a group of people in England. And it was super cool. Like, other than I have to wake up really early because we're teaching it on British time zone, but it was super cool. And one of the people who's really learning about solution-focused brief therapy, getting excited and enthusiastic about this way of working, she asks, since there's so much research supporting solution-focused brief therapy, why do so many people still question the efficacy of this approach? And it was interesting kind of talking through my answer to that, because I think like one of the things I said to the person who asked that, like, I think the biggest issue is solution-focused brief therapy is hard because it runs counter to what we think we should be doing. Like if someone states they have a problem, like let's say a trauma, for example, we have this kind of faulty belief that in order to solve that problem, we have to understand the problem, we have to diagnose the problem, we have to assess the problem, and then more importantly, we have to give some advice or suggestion to the client so that they can make a change in their life to overcome the problem. But that's just not true. That's not true at all. People can overcome problems without ever having mentioned them to the therapist. And one of the reasons I think that people continue to struggle with that and continue to struggle to acknowledge the efficacy of this approach is when you start applying solution-focused brief therapy, it's hard work. And one of the things that makes it so difficult, one of the things that makes it so hard, is that once you start trying to do it, you quit because you feel like, because you're struggling, like the approach is not working, instead of recognizing that it's just, I don't have mastery of this language or of the question process associated with this approach. So people try it, like they get really excited, they go to a training by Elliott Connie or whoever, and they read a book by Elliott Connie, whoever, and they go back to their practice and they start trying to apply this approach with their clients. And then if it doesn't go smoothly or super well, they think it's the approach not working, without understanding it's your inadequate application of the approach simply because it's new and you haven't mastered the skill yet. So then people give up and they stop trying because they think the approach doesn't work. So look, if you want to master this approach, you have to work at it, you have to practice it, you have to study it, you have to master the skill in order to be able to do this effectively. And once you do, like, it just completely changes the way therapy happens, and your clients will be blown away, and you'll be blown away because it'll impact your life. Like, it's a pretty significant and remarkable way of working, but it requires you to work at it. It requires you to stick with it. It requires you to do well. And just think about this for a second. The first time you learned to ride a bike, every now and then you fell, you couldn't steer quite right, you'd like bump into a curb, and we just call it wiping out. You'd wipe out, and you'd fall, and you skin your knee. Well, when you fell, if you started experiencing the bike as broken or something wrong with the bike, or something wrong with bikes in general, and you never rode bikes again, you would have never mastered the skill of riding bikes. And solution-focused brief therapy is similar. You have to work at this craft so that you can master the skill of solution-focused. And throughout your life, like, you're rewarded for things you don't quit and give up on. You're rewarded with mastery, like bike riding. The fact that you stuck with it when you fell and skinned your knee, you put on knee pads, but you got back on the bike. You put on a helmet, but you got back on the bike, until eventually you were rewarded with the skill of being able to ride bikes. So when you're practicing this approach and you kind of fall off your solution-focused bike, get back on it, because you will be similarly rewarded, and so will your clients.